Hey, and welcome to the Meditations and Musings podcast. I'm Elena Lipson. I'm a mama, I'm a wife, and I'm the founder of the Divine Self-Care Circle membership and the Virtual Retreat Academy. I don't believe that you have to sacrifice your body, your health, or your family in order to create true abundance and prosperity. I believe in living based on the divine feminine metrics of success, and these include pleasure, play, ease, grace, and a slower pace. Each week, I'll bring you 1 to 2 new episodes. One of these will be a guided meditation that you don't have to do on the meditation pillow, and the other will be a conversation to help you access your inner wisdom, to ignite abundance, and inspire others to do the same. I invite you to join me on this journey back to the magic of a divinely aligned and well cared for you. And now, join me for today's episode.
Welcome back to the Meditations and Musings podcast. This is Elena Lipson, your divine mentor and your self-care coach, if you want me to be. I always say that, like when I listen back to me saying it, I'm imagining you sitting there going like, you're not my coach. Are you my coach? Well, if you're listening to me and you're opening up the invitation to hear my words, then just allow me to inspire you for the next little bit. I want to speak with you about something really important today. And I'm thinking about this because it's been just about a year, not almost a year. Like in February of 2020, I received a massive quantum leap opportunity that could have burned my system, my electrical circuits, but it didn't. And I'm going to share with you why it didn't. I'm going to share with you how I navigated the opportunity. And then I'm going to share with you what the hell happened? The pandemic ruined the whole thing, or did it, right? Okay, so I'm just going to go really casual here today. I'm just sitting in my office. I just had some lunch. I have my little doggie here in her bed next to me, just waiting for me to take her outside because the sun came out after some snow, which is the crazy weather we have here in the winter in the Pacific Northwest. And I think this is a very, very important topic because so many times we sabotage our own massive vision, whether we even have one to begin with, because we, meaning like all the parts of us, are not aligned in believing that we can actually have it. So in your mind, you might think, oh yeah, I can have it because look, I can see other people having it. But deep within you, that inner gremlin part of you, the part of you that is, all about safety, comfort, like staying away from the edge of the cliff, not jumping out of an airplane, right? Like those are physical examples. But for some of us, actually for all of us, risk initiates that process of engaging the gremlin. And whether it is, I'm going to decide to write a book or start a podcast or go on a diet or lose weight or take a trip or make changes in my home or put boundaries in place in my relationship or, start my own TV show or whatever, start a business, part-time or full-time, quit my job and get a better job, ask for a raise, right? All the things. Ask for what I want in the bedroom, tell my partner how I like to be touched and licked and moved, right? All those things take risk because you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, and depending on your own risk tolerance, you're going to either never ask for what you want or dream bigger, or you're going to start small and kind of work your way up because the world tells us that there's a logical progression of paying your dues for 2 decades, and then finally you become an overnight success 20 years later. So the idea of something really big happening, amazing quantum leap opportunity, right? Which doesn't really happen overnight. That's kind of a lie too. I say kind of, because I'll share with you what happens when a quantum leap happens and why they happen. It's like winning the lottery, right? Like usually I would think, and I think I read this somewhere, like the person who is playing the lottery and wins really big, they've been playing for years, like years. They probably invested hundreds, if not thousands of dollars over the years to play lottery. And then one day, poof, it's their time, right? And they win 1 million, 10 million, 20 million, whatever. And if you haven't seen these movies about the winners of the lottery, like I think it's close to all of them. And don't quote me on this because I don't have percentages with me, but they all end up totally tanking their lives somehow. They lose all the money and they're back to maybe even lower than where they started, but definitely equilibrium where they started, because they were still who they were before they won the lotto, which is not winning the lotto, when they won the lotto. And they are, I like literally, I was talking to my husband the other day, and I'm like, they should really have like therapists and coaches and money mindset people to work with these lottery winners right away. I'm like, because there was like $1 billion lottery in Pacific Northwest here on the West Coast, I think it was. Maybe it was statewide, actually. Maybe it was countrywide. It was like, I can't remember if it was Mega Millions or something. Anyway, for the first time that I've ever seen it, it was like $1 billion, like literally $1 billion. And I thought, wow, like if we won that, I would want us to get a money manager, a coach to help us like really integrate this wealth into our body, mind, and home and spirit. And how would we really handle that, right? Because that's a massive quantum leap. Like we can all dream about it and think about it. Oh, we buy a house, we buy a car, we buy this. But the day-to-day experience of being a billionaire, like in an instant, would actually fry our nervous system. It really would fry your nervous system unless you've been doing the inner work of really understanding that wealth begins within, right? Like you could be happy with $1. You would be grateful with $1 million. You would still be who you are with $1 billion. Like most people don't have that grounded and anchored into their being, right? They're not intentionally being any dollar amount of lifestyle. They just are what they are, and then whatever goes with it, right? That's why so many people like are drawn to doing money mindset work when they start realizing that they are their own biggest block to making more money, literally. You repeat patterns. We all do. I'm not saying like you or me. I do this too. I have talked about this on the podcast before. I have had this almost the same exact number of debt. I think 1, 2, 3, 4 times in my life, 4 times. My college degree. I got another like computer certification. And then 2 times in my business, I've had the same number of debt, like the same dollar amount of debt that I've paid off. Like I'm debt free now, but something within my consciousness was getting me to the same amount of debt 4 times in my life. Like what the hell, right? So something within me, I realized this. I'm like, oh my God, why am I recreating this again and again and again? It's not like I wanted to recreate it, right? There was always reasons for it. But internally, I had this inner financial set point that wasn't prepared to be free of it, right? So I really had to get into my own inner worthiness issues and like embracing that part of me and integrating her so that I can move past it, right? Somehow I just thought I'd magically wake up one day and I could be someone who makes $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month with no problems, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But no, it's not how it works, right? In fact, if me just saying those numbers made you feel like, oh my God, I can't imagine making $30,000, $40,000 a month, then yeah, that's an issue of like your own money perception in your body, in your cells, right? I mean, there's women I know who make $1 million a month, 100,000 a month, like for real, they do it. It's not imaginary, they do it, right? But if you grew up in a mindset in a family who went to work, got a salary for years on end, then that's going to be a very, very different paradigm shift. And your entire body, your entire subconscious is going to fight it because it's so like unbelievable. It's so unknown, right? And you think, if you really think about it, when you think of someone who has $1 million every month coming in, or they're like a multimillionaire, you have associations with that person. Who are they? What do they like? How are their like you have some adjective personality descriptions, right? Whether it's greedy or materialistic or they don't need that much money, or like, that's not me. I could never imagine doing that. I like my used cars, right? Like you have stories about that person. And so you becoming that person is going to be something that you subconsciously fight if there's any sort of negative association with having whatever number that made you like sit up straight, right? That's an association that you are going to forever carry until you consciously like open up that Pandora's box look inside and be able to talk about your debt and your dreams and your lack and all the things. You have to talk about it, right? I was so scared to talk about my debt for the longest time. And it felt so shameful for me. But then I realized, like, look, I grew up in this society where when I was 16 years old and I walked into university for the first time, I was given a credit card. I didn't even have I had a part-time income, but it wasn't enough to have a credit card, really. It wasn't like a salary income, and I had loans and I had grants for college, but I didn't have an income that would justify having a credit card at a 16%, interest rate. But they gave me one because they said, oh yeah, you can count your grants and your loans as salary and income. I'm like, sweet, awesome. And the first thing I did after I got that credit card was I went to the mall with my friend near university and I got myself a pair of rollerblades, and they cost $100. What I did not understand at the time, because I did not have any financial education, was that I wasn't going to be paying $100 for that credit card, because I thought, oh, I'll just pay a little bit every month. And then in a month, I'll just pay for it. No problem. I was actually going to end up paying 120 something for that rollerblades. And even then, as a 16-year-old, I would have been like, oh, no big deal. That's fine. But if you multiply that 100 by 100 by 100, you have thousands of dollars at 16% interest rate, and you're just paying the bare minimum every month. That's how I got to my $20,000 in debt. I think it was less the first time, actually. But I was paying for my books. I was paying for literally paying for my lifestyle, because I was living on my own since I was a teenager. So I was literally except for rent and other things like that, because I did have some income, I was basically funding my lifestyle, not extravagant by any means, don't get me wrong. I was pretty stable. I had some savings and I was really good, but I wasn't abundance mindset. I was sort of paycheck to paycheck, and that's just how it is. So I know I went off on a tangent there, but I think it's really important to understand that we all have these set points in our bodies and in our minds. So when something amazing, big, huge happens, there's a tendency to come back to equilibrium if you're not anchored into unraveling a lot of those old stories. So that if your mind, your body, and your spirit isn't aligned and anchored into a neutrality place, but also understanding your own wiring, understanding when you are procrastinating and why, understanding when you're not taking a chance and why, understanding when you want to get visible but you're not and why, right? This is called aligned consciousness, where you have conscious expectations and conscious alignment with what you want. Because you can have a dream and a vision board, but if every time you look at that vision board, you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to get there, so you don't even take the next step, that vision board is just going to be that. And you're just sort of hoping the fairy godmother waves her magic wand. And listen, I believe in magic as much as the most woo-y person. I actually don't even like that term, woo, but I just think magic is who we are, and of course things manifest out of the blue, but is it really out of the blue, right? Those alignments, those quantum alignment that happens, that massive opportunity that happens, is not a result of it just coming out of the blue. It's actually a result of consistent, daily, conscious expectation and alignment to that which you desire in a bigger way. If you don't want anything really big, then most likely it's not going to happen, right? But if you're consciously aligning with conscious expectation and alignment every day, and you're taking inspired action, you're resting when you need to, you're taking risks when you need to, you're getting visible even if you're nervous, right? Over time, that adds up. And then all of a sudden, stars align and boom, the opportunity comes. So when I started this podcast episode in the beginning, I shared with you that just about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, I, out of the blue, quote unquote, out of the blue, received an email from the Mel Robbins TV show saying that they would like to have me as a guest expert on their TV show the next week. I had to realign my entire vacation. I was about to leave to California in a few days for 2 weeks, and I had to rearrange my entire schedule to make it happen. But I did, and I could have easily said no because, it's too complicated. But my point is, when this email came, my entire nervous system, my whole body was like, what the hell is this, right? But then I was like, well, of course this. I have been giving and aligning and creating for years, right? sometimes very successfully, sometimes less so, but I never stopped showing up for myself, for my clients, for all of that I wanted to create. Even when it wasn't working, I still show up, right? And so, of course, they found me. And I had literally just like a month before loaded all this SEO on YouTube videos. And I think that's where they found me. I'm not even 100% sure. But long story short, a week to the day from that date, I was in New York City at the CBS studios recording an episode with Mel Robbins about self-care. And I had the audience up and dancing and moving and shaking. And I was talking about self-care, and I was so in my element. I couldn't even believe it. Like, it was incredible. It was amazing. The whole experience was amazing. They flew me out there, put me up in a hotel, paid me to be there. Of course, just like a stipend, nothing, right? But still, it was just like, it was fun to get a check from them. I saved that check from Mel Robbins' show. And it was amazing, really was. And the crazy thing about it is that as they were about to edit the episode to air, everything came to a screeching halt. Like, the entire world stopped, right? Because of the pandemic and the shutdown. The episode never aired. The show was canceled. And I thought, oh my God, like, what the hell? And then I realized, I had an incredible time. Like, I just had such a blast doing it. And the entire process, from the moment I got the email to the show being recorded, and afterwards, the celebration with my best friend, having champagne in this gorgeous restaurant at the top of a hotel building in New York, I realized, like, I kept aligning consciously, expanding every single day into being the version of me who was like, hell yes, I'm going to be on the Mel Robbins TV show. Hell yes, you can fly me out there. These are my hours. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I bossed it all the way. And I was humble about it. I was so kind to everyone I talked to. The interactions were amazing. The producer and I had an ongoing relationship. Like, it was such a great experience. And it showed me and the universe that I can handle quantum leaps with grace and joy and play. Of course, I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I literally thought, like, up until I went on stage, I thought, well, there's just going to be a blackout and I'm not going to go on. Like, I'm just going to trip and that's going to be it. Like, I literally was having those thoughts because the gremlin was working overtime. But once I got on stage and I said, hi to Mel Robbins, and I hugged her back when we can hug other people in public, and the cameras went on, I was on. Like, I was connecting with the audience. I was looking at people's eyes. I was fully there physically in my body, enjoying the experience. It was not disassociation. I didn't mess up. I remembered what I was going to say, the script, but I also improvised, and Mel loved it. Like, I did it, and it showed me, girl, keep going, because you don't know when that next amazing opportunity is going to come. So just keep showing up. Number two, it showed me that I can handle it. I slept well. I ate well. I had sex with my husband. Like, I was in it. I was a good mom. I didn't turn into a monster. Like, I handled it. I didn't start, abusing drugs or drinking too much. Like, I didn't have to drink before I went on, like, nothing. I was there, healthy, present, and I had it, right? So even though the episode didn't air, I showed myself in the universe that I could consciously expect and align to massive, joyful, quantum leap opportunities, financially, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. I receive it all with grace and humility. And I am who I am. It's like a neutrality thing. Like, I didn't become, some queen that day or better than anyone else. I was humbled so deeply by that experience. And all I wanted to do was just celebrate with my family. It's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So are you ready? Are you ready for that massive quantum leap, that 6-figure book deal, that invitation to speak in front of 100,000 people? Are you ready to be on screen on, Oprah's TV show, if that's what you want, whoever? Are you ready to be invited to your own event? Are you ready to create your own event? Forget being invited by others. Are you ready to step into your own big dreams? Right? I want to help you do that. Like, this is what I do for myself. I help my clients to declare, align, and amplify their quantum experiences through daily practice. That's what it's all about. That's the secret that nobody tells you until they like tell you and write their tell-all book, right? It's the daily experience of the day after day, month after month, year after year of showing up for themselves. Yes, you can pivot. Yes, you can rebrand. Yes, you can start over. I'm not saying like you have to do one thing and stick with it forever. In fact, I am right now wrestling internally with a big pivot for myself. That's going to happen because you're no longer aligned with the last version of you, and the next version of you is asking for something bigger. All those things will happen, but do you keep showing up? Do you rest when you're tired? Do you do what you say you're going to do? Do you keep promises to yourself? Do you say your truth, right? Do you make and hold your boundaries with yourself and others and time? These are all the things that are under the umbrella of conscious alignment. So I hope I got you to think about a few things. I hope I got you to think about like, what would be that opportunity? Like I mean, if you would have asked me a month before that, like it wouldn't have even been in my purview. Like I think a month before that, someone sent me, or I somehow found Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. And I watched her TED talk and I was like, damn, she's awesome. I love her sneakers. I have the same brand of sneakers that she was wearing on the TED stage. And I'm like, oh man, I'd love to meet her, just like as a passing thought, you know? And then poof, a month later, I was in New York on her stage. Like I'm getting chills just talking about it right now because I was so like, I wasn't attached to it. It was awesome. And I have no doubt that these opportunities are constantly on the way to me. And when the timing is right, poof, they're going to show up. But I will keep on keeping on, right? This is like 231 episodes or something. I don't know. It's like 3.5 years of recording my podcast. Maybe one day you who have the power to grant me my next quantum leap are listening and you invite me to teach or lead or guide in your venture. And poof, my next quantum leap happens, right? I don't know. Maybe hey, Oprah, are you listening? Because I'm so all about, like, I can see myself in Hawaii on Super Soul Sunday talking to you or whatever venue you want me to be on. All right, Oprah, are you listening? Brene, are you listening? Elizabeth Gilbert, are you listening? Right? Like there's so many amazing things that can happen. And I believe in that magic so deeply, right? Talk about big magic. I believe it. I live it. I teach it. I share it. Let's all take a deep breath together. I thought this was going to be shorter, but I really just got so fired up about this opportunity for you to consciously expect and align to that which you desire, that I hope I activated you to your own brilliance and your own potential. So, okay, if you want to do this together, if you want me to be your mentor officially, then you are invited to step into my divinely aligned circle. The door is open. You can come on inside. The link is in the notes to the show. It's also on Instagram in my bio link at Elena_Lipson. The doors are open. When you're ready, come on inside. I will teach you the framework of getting divinely aligned with conscious expectation to declare, align, and amplify your vision of grace and worthiness and wealth, all starting from the inside. You're invited, like I've put your name on the envelope. I've sealed it with a gorgeous wax stamp. I've sent it to you. It's in your hands. It's up to you to RSVP and come on inside. If you're looking for more business VIP style masterminding this year, then when you click the link, you'll see it says by invitation only. So you just need to send me an email and you and I will hop on a call and we'll talk and see if it's your time to do a VIP style mastermind circle. It's limited to under 10 women because I want to make it really intimate and I want to help you create your framework and create your copy and the vision that you have and really step into it without templates, all intuitive strategy. That's how I work. All right. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for taking that ride with me all the way to New York City and back to Pacific Northwest. And I have one more phone call today, and then I'm going to go take my dog out for a walk, who's being super, super patient. Oh, I think she fell asleep. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Again, this is Elena. Just want you to know I'm on this journey with you, and I have zero, there's just no pride in this. Like, there's no ego here. Wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. I have been up and down this roller coaster of owning my own business for a long time. And I know what it takes physically, emotionally, spiritually. I know what a toll it can take on your body and your emotions and your mental wellness. I know what a toll it can take on your family, right? So when I say enjoy the massive opportunities, I know that part of that inner fear and procrastination is about not really even having a clear understanding of how something so massive will affect your family. And if you have little ones, especially, or teenagers or whatever, like my son is 15, and there's things I won't take on now because I just want to be here with him, over these last, few years that he's planning on being here, and he wants to spread his wings and fly. But when he was little, I made the same choices. I was very clear on what my values were and how many times I was willing to travel per quarter, and my hours. I wanted to pick him up from school every day and be able to pay for our travel as a family. And I did all those things, but I was very clear about it because I do not want you to sacrifice your health, your wellness, your mental wellness, emotional wellness, physical wellness, or your family. You do not need to sacrifice at the altar of hustle and grind. You can make amazing money. You can leverage your time. You can show up in a way that fits for you and your family and your lifestyle. And you can still help a lot of other people and be paid really well to do it. So that is what I want for you, because you're worthy of it now, not someday, but now. The timing has never been better to start something online, to grow something online, to really do work that matters. So if you have any questions about the circle, just shoot me a DM in Instagram, Elena_Lipson. I answer all of them myself. No one has access to my account but me. If you have questions, let me know. I'd love, love, love to see you there. All right. Have an amazing day. I need to go get ready for my next call. And wishing you all the best on your journey of alignment and wellness. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening and learning about the new divine self-care way of being in your life, business, and the bedroom based on the divine feminine metrics of success: pleasure, play, ease, grace, and a slower pace. If you're ready to bust the myth of overwhelm and tap into an inspired start to each day, I've put together a free video series for you to help you start each day with energy, inspiration, and ignite that inner pilot light which attracts joy, magic, and synchronicity. You can access my 3-step magic morning practice to help you ignite your inner light and attract the abundance that you're craving. Head on over to elenalipson.com/gift. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would so love if you share it with a friend, a sister, a mother, a daughter, and please leave a review. That is how the magic starts to ripple out. Here's wishing you a day full of beauty, magic, and divine self-care. I'll see you next time at the Meditations and Musings podcast.